Hello and welcome to your award-winning The Reasons I'm Broke podcast, bringing you the reasons we're broke every single week through news and headlines ranging from comics, movies, TV, video games, and more. I'm Daniel, and your other host this week has the infamous Budcam, best ass out of all the hosts here, proudly puts it on the stream every week on Lazy Gaming Guys. It is Julian. Welcome back, Julian.
You know, when you say it like that, it makes me sound like a whore.
I mean, where's the lie?
I'm not talking about this. Hello, everybody. I'm here again.
If this is your very first episode of the show, the way we format it is we go through this week's news. We end it normally on the Brokehead block, but we're also going to have this year's 2023 BROSCARS nominees and winners. We read them out last week, and this week we've got your winners as voted on by your hosts, and some of these categories, there were some tiebreaker votes that were needed to be voted on by the Brokehead core. So let's jump right in and explore sector number 554. So on Tuesday, GameStop announced, more bad news from GameStop. I don't hear anything good except for that Kingdom of Hearts pop, which we'll talk about. But GameStop announced that all in-store pre-orders for its exclusive collector's edition of Resident Evil 4 Remake had been canceled. So far, nothing has been mentioned for pre-orders that were taken online, although some online orders have been getting canceled as well for customers. So one employee on Reddit said, quote, "One of the pre-orders is for my regulars who are huge Resident Evil fans, and they got fucked over by pre-orders from the SAP conversions pretty bad. They were hesitant to pre-order anything for a while because of it. Now this? Ugh," end quote. So GameStop will be offering customers who lost their pre-orders a $10 discount on standard versions of Resident Evil 4 Remake. What's your take on this, Julian? Terrible, right?
Yeah, it's what is GameStop doing? Yeah, because it's like you think it's like, oh, I guess I'm gonna get my exclusive collector's edition, and then GameStop goes, yeah, like what? The game comes out in a few days, like next week, in a month, in a couple weeks.
I think so. Yeah, it's very soon.
And then it's like, okay, so guess what? The limited edition things, that the limited collector's editions that we had, you're not getting them anymore because we were reasons.
It had been years since I had seen something like this. I think when I worked at GameStop, there were times where it'd be like a day or two pre-order on something really hot. Here's a limited edition. It's only going up for 24 hours. Take as many pre-orders as you can. And then after the fact, they would tell us, oh, you're only going to get this many copies. So go from the top of the list down on who pre-ordered it the soonest. So we would have to make decisions like that. But this, where all physical stores, all those orders had been canceled, I don't know what inside baseball is going on in the background, but to me, that sounds like they weren't able to either afford as many collector's editions to order from the game company, whoever's actually producing these products, or that they just were completely underproduced and the demand was too high.
Or maybe maybe Capcom didn't decided not to give them that much at all. So they just said, nah, we don't want to do that. We could just sell this on our own through some other thing. There's some tinfoil hatchery going on around here.
Have you ever had any pre-orders canceled on your end from GameStop? Any bad experience like that in your past? Because I know you're a huge gamer, so in the days of pre-ordering, I don't know if you're pre-ordering much these days, but do you have a story on something like this happening to you?
I did almost get sniped out of a pre-order if I didn't show up, because someone said they were going to give my pre-order away if I didn't show up. I had work that day, and I couldn't go before they closed. And then the next day I go there first thing in the morning. It's like, oh, good, you're here, because someone was calling asking about this and they said they were going to come get this copy, but you finally came. And so it's like, wait. So you're going to give away my copy because I didn't come yesterday?
It was kind of the Wild West, man. I'll tell you, when I did work there, there wasn't necessarily a set period of after this many. It was like 48 hours, I think, we were able to sell it, but we always went longer because our regulars would sometimes take a week. And if they were really good at picking up, then we would absolutely hold it for a month sometimes. And the manager would take it off the inventory. That way it wouldn't show up on search anymore, so that people wouldn't be like, hey, it says you have 2 copies. And we'd have to be like, yeah, they're on hold or they're not available. He would just take them off inventory. But in your case, yeah, you got lucky that you were able to get it and pick it up. I will say that the $10 discount on that, if you had gotten your collector's edition canceled, would you take them up on the $10 offer, or would you try to get it cheaper somewhere else? Because $10 honestly isn't really a lot. I feel like you can get it off of Cheap Ass Gamer, one of their links, and probably get it for a little cheaper than 10.
Seriously, I have enough points with these people to get where I could have gotten that game at a discount. It's like now I have to. It's like, well, I was expecting this, so now I'm gonna have to go see if I can find it somewhere else. And good luck with that. Within a couple weeks before the game comes out.
This collector's edition was exclusive to GameStop, so if someone's trying to get a collector's edition elsewhere, I think it would have to be eBay for probably twice the price.
Yes. It is not a good look at all, GameStop. Y'all are already failing, and then you do this shit.
Well, we have some potentially good news. Last week, a couple weeks ago, we were talking about how Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was in bad terms with a lot of gamers, where now there's a new report from Bloomberg that has said that this game has been internally delayed to an indefinite date for later this year. So the shift seems to be coinciding with the negative comments online from the project's last major showing during a PlayStation State of Play event, which I didn't know about. I'm not a big PlayStation guy, much less a State of Play thing. But after they showed that off on there, a lot of gamers were like, fuck this game. Like, I didn't even, like, Scott was talking about it. I was really disappointed with Rocksteady about it. Sam was sharing on it too. But how do you feel about hearing that this game will be getting pushed even further back? And will you be playing the game for yourself regardless of when it releases?
Okay, so about this game being pushed back, it's like, one, the State of Play during February, when they showed this off, it's like, oh great, you wasted 15 whole minutes where you were showing anything else to show off this game. Congratulations. Oh, it's another live service from WB and from it's another WB live service. You know, the thing that a bunch of games have just gotten shut down on their live services because people aren't playing them. It's like, great. So if I do spend money on this and you decide to shut it down, it's going to be fun. Hearing it being pushed back, it's like, why are we pushing it back? Are you going to change things? Are we not going to make this a live service game? We're just going to make it a random multiplayer game? Where the fuck? It's like, why is this game being pushed back? Because clearly it looks like you have a good chunk of this game done already. So it's either they're going to get rid of the live service and make it something more reasonable, or maybe WB just has no faith in this game right now. If WB feels like this game needs to be tweaked or something is going on where they have to tweak this game a little bit more.
Well, I think if they remove that live of service thing that people had a big issue with, that I feel like would go a long way with gamers. It seems like gamers tend to be pretty good about supporting a company when changes are made based on their feedback. I mean, you saw it, it's not a game, but it's game related with Sonic the Hedgehog's redesign and Sonic 1 for the film, and people were out there and they were watching the movie. They were supporting it. And with this, I mean, I think it only helps them. I think this will, in the end, give them higher sales than if they were to just release it with the negative feedback.
As a person who plays his own paid live service game way too much.
Is it Destiny?
No, it's Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, okay.
But, it's like, at least they, they're constantly working on it because it's, it's like, if you're going to do a live service, you got to do it right. You got to do it right. And you can't, like, make people feel like that, the amount of money they're paying for it is not worth it. It's either they're either working on making it something where it's worth it, so they don't end up like all the other canceled live service games out there, or they're most likely maybe changing it out and realizing that this is not a good look. It's not what people want anymore. People just want to have video games they can play, and if it's a multiplayer service, it's like, just let them have multiplayer and everything else, and not have to worry about all this stuff about collecting this gear and that, and then suddenly it's like, you missed out on this event, yada yada, blah blah blah.
When I end up getting the either next Xbox or the Xbox Series S, if they end up making these changes, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League may be a game that I eventually pick up, especially if it's on Microsoft's Game Pass. But as it stands, if they don't make any changes, I was definitely like, no, fuck this game. But now, if they really do push this back, make it better, remove those features, I'll cautiously say I'm back in. I like Rocksteady. I trust them. And if they really did listen to feedback, then good on them.
I think it's the Rocksteady's doing some changes in this game somewhere. They really are going to make this game not be some crappy live service that's going to come out.
Someone else that did a little bit of backtracking, and it's related to Suicide Squad, funny enough, is director David Ayer, who recently revealed on The Direct that the damaged tattoo on Joker's forehead was the one regret he had from the design. He said on Twitter, quote, "It's the one aesthetic choice I wish I hadn't made. Caught a lot of smoke for it, obviously," end quote. What do you think about this? And did you like Jared Leto's Joker in the film or in the Snyder Cut?
I totally forgot about the whole tattoo, about the tattoo on his forehead. I didn't even, because I saw that movie.
Yeah, and it was years ago, 2016, I think.
I haven't really given it a shot again, because I thought I didn't like it. I just didn't do anything that resonated with me.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless if I was elbows deep in my Marvel movie high at the time, and then, they killed promptly right after in the next movie they came out with afterwards. At the end of the day, it's like, Jared Leto Joker, it was all right. It reminded me of like the Batman Beyond, like the Joker's gang rather than the Joker.
I got
like he was like one of the leading, like he's like one of the leaders of the Joker gang or something, like a gang of people who emulate the Joker or something, rather than the Joker himself.
Well, yeah, I remember that even being speculated when they revealed the design, his shirtless picture with all the tattoos. There was that rumor that was going on, like, this is actually Jason Todd and he got Joker-fied or whatever. That's what people were thinking. The movie came out, and I did like his take on the Joker, but David Ayer has since said that they completely eviscerated the character because most of what you saw in the film were Jeff Johns' rewrites on lines, because they were saying that his Joker was too scary, is what WB executives were saying. So that's when they brought in Jeff Johns. Too scary. The Joker can't be scary. It's like, come on. Of course, the Joker's the scariest fucking villain.
Did they forget that they made a scary Joker before that? And before
The Dark Knight.
Who was the first person who played Joker in the movies again?
Oh, in the films, it would be, I mean, if you want to say George Romero, because he did a Batman 66 movie, but if you're talking about Batman 89, then that'd be 89. Jack Nicholson.
It's like not everybody can be Jack Nicholson. Freaking just like, it's like, I can see the threat, but he's not very threatening. Once again, can't go one moment without bringing it up. We all can't be Batman the Animated Series Joker.
And for me, there hasn't been a bad Joker yet. Now, I haven't seen the Batman, and I haven't seen Barry Keoghan's Joker, and I've seen like a clip, and it's not good. I don't like that design. But I haven't seen the film, so I can't for sure say that that's a terrible take. It looks terrible, but otherwise, except for the Batman movie, everything else has been great. Every performance has been different, and I think that we saw a closer take on what David Ayer's Joker would have been in the Snyder Cut when he shows up in that additional photography when he's talking to Batman, and he's talking about Robin and Harley Quinn and how Batman should have stopped Darkseid by throwing himself in front of Lois and essentially dying, getting Omega beamed to prevent the whole nightmare world from happening. We know that that's the plot that Zack wants to lead into for Justice League 2 and 3. So and that was the take that people were like, yeah, that Jared Leto Joker was great. And I'm like, I think that's the one that we would have gotten in David Ayer's Suicide Squad. Yeah, but I don't agree with Ayer backing up on that, because to me, it's like he was defending it forever of having the damaged tattoo on there meant that he was doing it to mock Batman, because the grill that they put on Joker in the design, that he has that on because Joker in this universe, Batman knocks out the Joker's teeth and he's not able to smile anymore, right? So Batman has the grills on, and Joker has the grills on, and he puts damaged on his forehead as if, look what you've done, Batman, you've damaged me for life. So to me, I'm like, it all works, it's fine. I don't like that he kind of backtracked on it, but maybe this is all a part of his being on the camp of alleged pedo gun. He's super friends with him now, so it sounds like they're doing some things. I don't know, but I'm not on his side. I think it's fine.
Hollywood gonna Hollywood. It's like, no, the more popular. I got to stick with the popular consensus so I don't get thrown out of the loop.
That's what it sounds like to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, when you said the Batman, my first thought, it wasn't the movie. My first thought was the cartoon, the Batman, and because I've been recently rewatching a bunch of animated series lately, and it's like actually, now that I remember it, the Batman and the Joker and the Batman, he was like weird. It was like, this is the weirdest one. He has like long dread looking hair, long dread dread hair, makes it look like Sonic the Hedgehog. his like smile is like deformed and scary. It's like, see, that's what Jared Leto's kind of looked like to me if they had gone far enough with it.
What's funny is even back then when that came out, I was one of those guys that's like, this is a weird Joker. Like, what the hell's this? I was used to the animated series. And Leo wanted to watch the Batman versus Dracula movie that's on HBO Max, and that's based on the Batman. So we're watching it, and the Joker shows up, and he's like, that's a weird Joker. And I'm like, okay, it's not just me.
It's not just you. It is a weird Joker. It's a weird, but the whole series is weird. It's like freaking like 13-year-old Barbara Gordon, and then like, I don't even know if it's Tim. I can't tell if it's Tim or if it's supposed to be Dick Grayson. It's like as in that one, because it's like it's supposed to be Dick Grayson, but you look like Tim. But it's like, I don't know.
Let kids be the litmus test. Another example was my brother bought him from the Batman a Batmobile like RC car, and he likes it because it can jump. You hit a button and it flips or jumps or whatever. But when he first saw it, he's like, that's a weird Batmobile. And I'm like, I know, it's a weird Batmobile, isn't it? It was like the same reaction. It's like, terrible design. It's just a fucking car. But he had fun with it regardless. He got over the bad design from the Batman, and he's had fun with that Batmobile. But I'm saying, let kids be the litmus test. Put them in front of it. There's another award show. It's more controversial than the BROSCARS. This is where people get slapped at, man. There's violence at these award shows. I don't think it's going to happen today. I don't think we're going to get that. So, but because
I'm not in front of you right now.
At this lesser award show called the Oscars, at the red carpet, Variety asked, actually, you like this guy, Dwayne Johnson, for his reaction on Bland Adam not moving forward with a sequel. He said, quote, all that I can do and all that we could do when we were making Bland Adam was to put our best foot forward and surround ourselves with the best people and deliver the best movie we could. Our audience score was in the 90s. Critics took a couple of shots, but that's just the business of it. But I think it's almost like when you have a pro football team and your quarterback wins championships and your head coach wins championships, and then a new owner comes in and says, not my coach, not my quarterback. I'm going to go with somebody new, end quote. So obviously he's referring to alleged pedo gun, David Zaslav, Peter Safran. You know, I disagree with him. He doesn't have an award-winning coach or whatever he was saying. If his movie had made $1 billion, maybe I'd give him that. But for him to pretend that this was like some masterpiece of filmmaking that should have continued, I gotta disagree with him. As much as I don't like Gunn, I also disagree with Dwayne Johnson.
You think, it's not like he hasn't been part of bombs all the time, like that skyscraper movie and a bunch
Rampage.
of other, and freaking Scorpion King and a bunch of other movies. It's like, he's like been in a bunch of Journey to the Center of the Earth. Like he's been in a bunch of B movie, bunch of like kind of like generic movie schlock and fucking shit. It's like, don't suddenly think you're above that now. Mm-hmm. I mean, you helped make you helped make a short film and a Universal ride where it was supposed to be a schlocky bullshit movie. Don't even start with me, Dwayne Johnson. You're hot, but you're very stupid. It's like you can, but you're not even like nice enough to be a himbo, so you're just a hot dumbass. Talk about flip flop. It's like, yeah, at first you were like super excited about this, and then suddenly they change who it is, and you're like, I didn't think the movie was really that great anyway. It's like, oh my god.
I like that after the movie flopped, he was like, I'd love to work with, before that, he was like, I'm a DC guy. I've always been a DC guy. And then after his movie flopped, he's like, you know what? And hats off to the people at Marvel, and I'd love to work with them too. And I'm like, yeah, now you're just like, please, someone hire me.
Someone hire me before they have me star in another action movie, before my muscles start deflating and I start doing more and more fucking chemicals in my body to keep them up.
He's in his 50s, man, I think. Yeah, he's older than Henry Cavill. He's older than Ben. And people weren't saying, oh, he's too old for Black Adam. But they'll say that for Batman and Superman, but not for him.
Before he has to stop doing all these crazy shit in movies and he has to turn into he becomes the next Vince McMahon.
It's coming. His days are coming. More Oscar news as 16-time nominee and 2-time Oscar winner for Blade Runner 2049 and 1917, Roger Deakins said that Top Gun Maverick and The Batman were snubbed for Best Cinematography. He said, quote, the reason it wasn't is pure and simple, snobbery. There's this unfair tendency to avoid the Marvel Universe and the other popular universes. Top Gun Maverick is another one that was shut out, end quote. So do you agree? Snobbery, is that an issue at the Oscars?
Top Gun, really? Yeah, okay. All right.
Have you seen Maverick, man? It's fucking amazing.
I've seen. I haven't seen it yet. Like I heard interesting things about it. It's just, especially mostly from like gay friends. I don't really take their things with a grain of salt, because it's like, oh, y'all just like dudes and stuff, and like y'all are just barrel. I was eventually gonna look at it, but then she's saying like it got snubbed because it's like, this unfair tendency to avoid Marvel Universe and other popular universities. Universi.
I don't know, but I'm blaming Marvel though. I'm blaming Marvel because of Marvel, because of the MCU. I'm ignoring the Batman. Because of the MCU, Top Gun Maverick did not get nominated for Best Cinematography at the Oscars.
Wait a minute. Did they give it to MCU?
I don't know if Wakanda Forever is in there. I honestly didn't pay attention to what the MCU was nominated for. I know that The Batman was nominated for 6 or 7 Oscars. Most of them were like sound design and makeup, special effects. None of it was like actual. Not that those things aren't important, but you know what I mean, like cinematography or directing or best picture or best lead.
Cinematography. Yeah, because let's be real. Cinematography in Marvel movies is a lot of quick. There's a lot of quick blurry cams, so it doesn't really matter. Mm-hmm. It's like I could tell when we blurred through a really fat rapid punch to make it actually look interesting. I've seen enough of these action movies. I know what I know. Freaking not. We can't all go. It's like I forget what I was watching. I was watching this Hong Kong movie the other day with like, I forget this white woman's name, and if it's the white woman, this other Asian woman literally just kicking people's asses in it. And it was great because you could like actually see like fucking visible, you could actually see them like throwing people through walls and shit and all this actual physical damage, unlike most of the movies these days where they just it's like, yeah, we'll just CGI that so we don't have to actually clean up the glass and if we have to redo the shot or whatever, blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. It's like, nah, you get that shit in one take and we're done. This is why Jackie Chan retired.
This is one thing that I will stay consistent on because, like, for example, when Scorsese or some of these other master directors were saying things like the Marvel movies are not cinema, I'm like, well, they fucking know better. They've worked in this industry. They've made some of the best movies of all time. I'll listen to them, and their opinion is higher than mine because I haven't done those things, and neither have most of the people that were on there. Like, well, who cares what Scorsese says? It's like, well, the guy knows what he's talking about, and I'll stay consistent and say, Roger Deakins, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. If he says that The Batman has some Oscar-worthy cinematography, I'll believe you. It doesn't mean that I'll go see it. I'll believe you, and I'll agree with you on Top Gun Maverick. For sure, that has amazing cinematography and definitely Oscar-worthy. But I'll keep it consistent, man. I won't disagree with him just because it's the Midman. And we're getting some desperation from Warner Brothers Discovery as during last Friday's WWE SmackDown, a new Shazam! Fury of the Gods TV spot revealed that Gal Gadot's Diana Prince and Wonder Woman make a cameo appearance in the film. So this is the same tactic they did for Black Adam of, oh, Superman's in this movie. Go see it. Go buy tickets because Henry Cavill is back. And now they're doing that with Shazam too. Yeah. He shows up in the post credits. Yeah. That's how little impact it did. Yeah. Now Wonder Woman, they're doing the same with her. They're throwing her in this movie and they're revealing it ahead of time because tickets are not selling.
Really? You think Wonder Woman's going to save the thing? Wonder Woman's going to save people, make people go out and see it? It's like, I have no faith in what tickets aren't selling for it because, you all forget that, no one wants to see a movie the first night it comes out anymore.
Well, tell that to Top Gun Maverick. Tell that to the Super Mario Brothers movie. It's already got pre-sales up the ass. Like, people are willing to go out to movies. It's just this movie
Super Mario
looks
Brothers
like
movie. Everybody, I feel like a lot of people are watching that out of like foolish internet curiosity of like everything else about this movie is great. Everyone's like, well, we want to see how bad Chris. But also, there's like a large amount of people like want to see how bad Chris Pratt is.
Well, regardless of what the reason is, people are willing to go day one to theaters to go see movies. Jurassic World Dominion just did incredibly well. This is just a terrible looking movie. Shazam 2 has nothing in there. I've seen the trailer and nothing in there that I could point to that I can say the general audience would want to see this. Like, they don't even have Dwayne Johnson in there, and he's supposed to be Black Adam in this universe. He was above the Shazam movie, so they couldn't get him in there. And so they throw in Gal Gadot. It's embarrassing, man.
I didn't even know that. I forgot this movie was coming out. And second, it's like, wow, this really is. It's like really. Y'all couldn't get him to. It's like he's too big for this now and doesn't want to come back. It's like, did they pay you SAG scale?
His whole thing was.
Are you going with the Robin Williams moment here, where they didn't pay you they didn't pay you to be the genie?
He talked about it, man. He went straight up. He was like, and Sandberg, the director for Shazam 2, he's like, we wanted him for the sequel, and he didn't want to do it. And Dwayne said that he was like, his whole thing was Black Adam is larger than Shazam. He needs to fight someone like Superman. What? He needs to fight the Justice League. And so his ego was way up there. He was like, bigger than fighting these kids in Shazam. He needs to fight the big guns. And it's like, shut the fuck up, Dwayne Johnson.
Are you high? His powers are the powers come from the same source, don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you're stupid. You put someone in a superhero suit, and some people just lose their minds. I didn't hear anything about any shit. You know, it's like back when Blade was coming out, you didn't hear how much an asshole Wesley Snipes was until after that movie came out. So as soon as he became like a freaking badass vampire dude, suddenly he's the biggest asshole on the planet. It's like some people just can't be put. Well, I think he was doing that way before that, before the movie came out. But damn, some of these people just can't be put. Some of these actors cannot be put in suits because suddenly they become massive assholes. At least that's the one thing I can say about. I should feel very bad about forgetting that actor for Captain America.
Evans,
Chris Evans. Well, we all can't be Chris Evans and be innocent Seminoles until we accidentally show our dick on Instagram, and then we just then we just sit there with shrugs on our shoulders, like, "Oops."
You saw that shit right away, didn't you? Huh? You saw that shit right away, didn't you?
No, somebody sent me that literally right away. I'm not on it. I rarely use my Instagram. Someone sent. I literally wake up one day. I woke up from like a long night work ready for it. I wake up to holy shit, look at this. I'm like, why are you showing me a dick? Are you showing me the penis of some random dude you were with last night? And he's like, no, that's Chris Evans. I'm like, okay. Okay, it's nice. I'm going back to bed now.
Well, maybe they have showed off. Maybe if they showed off a dick here in Shazam 2, maybe that would have gotten. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's how desperate they would have been.
To be honest, it's like you got to show more than just the plastic. You got to show the whole. You got to show the whole body for me now these days because Batman already did it in comic books. You guys, y'all got to step it up. Marvel, if you really want to win my trust back, just have the Deadpool movie be R-rated, have him full frontal naked on screen with the mask on, and I'll be happy.
Well, someone who has elevated a superhero in the past and defined the Batman for me is Bruce Timm. And according to the Hollywood Reporter, his Batman Caped Crusader cartoon has been picked up by Amazon Prime Video with a 2-season order. So the series marks Bruce Timm's long-awaited return to Batman animation on TV after he spearheaded the Emmy Award-winning Batman the Animated Series. Are you excited to see Batman Caped Crusader? It's Batman the Animated Series all over again. It's coming back in a way. I don't know if you saw the teaser poster for this, but it takes place just like in his Batman 75th video, I want to say. It takes place in the past, like an older version of Batman. I'm not talking about like Victorian era or anything, but like the 30s Batman with the purple gloves and the older tech, that kind of thing.
So we're talking about that one, the purple glove one. I didn't know about. I knew about Purple Glove Batman a little bit, but then like Brave the Bold is one of the ones I rewatched lately, and it's like if we can do something like that, but more serious. That would be great. Because I love Batman Brave the Bold, but it knows it's kind of like tongue in cheek about itself sometimes.
I'm not a fan of Amazon, and I know that other hosts on here like Scott will boycott Netflix. And instead, he buys the DVDs or the Blu-rays when they release. So that might be the way I go about it, I think. Because I don't have Prime Video. Although I have access to it. And maybe I'll just, I don't know. I'm of two minds on this one. I'll either wait for the Blu-ray to come out or I'll bum the Prime from my family members and stream it on there. I just sent the photo to you of the design that Bruce Timm is going with. So this is like the longer ears Batman, like I mentioned, the purple gloves, a more classic look to the character than what we're traditionally used to.
Oh, those ears are huge.
Yeah.
Huge. It's like, but if they were fatter, it'd be like, it's a real bat. I'm interested. I know someone. Jacques has an Amazon Prime, so Lazy Gaming guys we can just use his.
Hell yeah!
Just use Jacques to look at it. Unfortunately, Scott is the minority in the Netflix hating brigade.
That's for sure.
Me, I actually am not the biggest. I'm not the biggest fan of Amazon Prime, to be honest, because if I want to just have their subscription, I gotta have like all this other stuff that I don't need. At the rate we're going, I might have to get an Amazon Prime account for Lazy Gaming Guys anyway, so we can actually have proper shit on Twitch.
Well, we got to talk more about the future of Lazy Gaming Guys, but we'll leave that for the Brocat block. The last news story we have was a big one, and this was one that took off everywhere. Like, people were saying, when alleged Pedal Gun said, "I'm going to be the director to Superman," like he tried to drown out the noise, and Zack's like, this is how you fucking market something, Warner Brothers Discovery. A teaser video that he put up on Vero, he put it up on Twitter, and it's Ray Porter, who voiced Darkseid in the Snyder Cut, telling us to tune in, to be ready for April 28th, 29th, and 30th. And Zack put up the tweet that says, #FullCircle.
April 28th, 29th, and 30th. Save the date.
So this could mean a lot of things. I think by a 3-day reveal, I think that I agree with a lot of people online too, a lot of the Snyder Cut movement of, this sounds like a 3-day event, like a screening, like he's going to show something that it's the Snyder Cut in 3 days. But I think it's going to be Man of Steel, BVS, and the Snyder Cut over 3 days. And that this will be the first big fan event that he's had, I believe, since the Snyder Cut was released. I could be wrong, but this is, I think, great news. Just the fact that we're getting this screening. If we get a Q&A portion, we know that Zack reveals a lot during Q&As. People think that the Green Lantern scene with Jon Stewart is going to be inserted into this screening of the Snyder Cut, if that's what it ends up being. So we'll get that final scene. But by him saying full circle, I mean, this is only good news. I think that this means a completion. This means that we're going to get the full vision, that he's going to announce in some form, hopefully live action, the finale to his 5-part story.
It was interesting. It left some menace. It had like some good visuals to like make me question some things. It's like, I had a random thought of, it's nothing but 3 days of a continuous live stream of just, see, I love being a super silly person. It's a 3 days, nothing but Darkseid just twerking for no reason. And then on the last day, it's actually the whole, it's suddenly a huge 10-minute trailer. It's like, haha, it's like, but we don't do that kind of silly. Not
that's
not
for sure.
No. Most likely it's going to be like just the whole bunch of concepts and everything, what they're going to be doing with this movie. Or if it's a movie or whatever they're going to be working on. I'm intrigued. I actually will put this on my calendar to look it up, because nothing is better than a good mystery.
Absolutely. And by him teasing it, obviously it means something. It's more than just a screening, to me, is what I think. As far as like, yes, the screening will probably happen, but there's no way he puts this together just to not say something at the very end of it. So I'm sure there'll be a charity. I'm guessing there'll be a charity tied into it, because the movement has raised a lot of money for suicide prevention. I'm sure that'll be a part of it, and that'll be great. We will absolutely cover it here as we lead into next month, into the end of next month, and find out exactly what Lord Darkseid is sending our way, what full circle means, and what this means for the future of those last couple of parts. Because I think this is good. I think there's a lot of fear from the antis, the people that are on James Gunn's side. So they're obviously hating this. And just for that alone, I'm like, fuck yes, because this is all over their feeds. They can't ignore it. It's taken off. Everyone's loving it. And for me, it's good, because we haven't seen a lot from Zack in the last month. We've seen Rebel Moon stuff, but nothing as far as the DC universe. And I understand he's very busy in post-production for Netflix. But now that he's back on this, I'm like, all right, my hope grows a little bit more. And I'm not saying this to hype up anyone that is for the restoring of the Snyderverse or for more of those movies. I'm not saying that this is definitely what's going to happen. So keep expectations low, but definitely tune in for this. Definitely be there. Some have already analyzed the audio in that small little clip, and you can hear, if you hear it at the beginning, "Don't Stop" is in that radio static. Someone pointed that out on our Facebook page. And after he said that, I'm like, yeah, you're right. You can hear that. So he does everything deliberately. There's always something. There's always a hidden meaning. And that includes this 3-day event. There will be something that comes out of this. I don't know if it'll be as big as 2 more films, but we'll get something. There's no way we don't.
And I can't wait for the extra episode of the podcast where it's nothing but you going 30 minutes over about analyzing this this little clip, because because everybody knows that makes money. Ask Legend of Zelda fans.
That's true. Yeah. But there you have it. That's this week's news before we get into into this year's BROSCAR Awards. But we do have first Adrian on Patreon, who said, quote, referencing last week's episode, I liked Wednesday. I did agree with Ortega about the love triangle thing. It didn't seem necessary. I overlooked it. I'm glad she said something. About TMNT, I will stick with the original 90s live-action trilogy and the original 90s cartoon. There was another TMNT cartoon from the early 2000s that was really good. It was on Fox Kids. I don't know if it got canceled. End quote. Did you end up finishing Wednesday, Julian? I know you were watching it.
Oh no, I never finished it. I got distracted by life. From the few episodes I saw of it, I enjoyed it. But the TMNT comment, most likely what he's talking about is the TMNT cartoon that came out when Fox Kids had a whole rebranding to the Fox Box or whatever it's called, before they changed it to 4Kids completely. I actually watched. They never canceled that show. It finished all of its runs. It had like 3 different seasons of that show. It had the TMNT Fast Forward, which is it's just them going in the future somehow and meeting April and Casey's like grandson.
That's kind of cool.
They go back, which is called TMNT Back in the Sewers. And then they're like, but the only thing about that one is in that show for the first 2 seasons of it, well, the first 2 big parts of it, because even in the first TMNT show, there were like multiple mini seasons in it. But you know how like the arcs and all that crap. Anyway, focus. They didn't have pupils, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then suddenly in the last season they have pupils. It was like that was weird. They also had a crossover with the old 90s cartoon.
Yes. Yeah, I remember. It was like TMNT Forever or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like that. It was interesting. I have yet to find a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles adaptation that I truly actually don't like. Everybody says, what about the live action? What about the more recent live action movies? I said, it's nothing really wrong with it, to be honest. I don't really see like it's another interpretation of the Ninja Turtles. It's like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's like I feel like all of you are taking that too seriously. And then like the recent one, which for some reason Scott doesn't like, and I think he's in, and I will say it every time he doesn't like it. I feel like you're overly biased because people keep ranting about how great the animation for it is, because the animation for it is spectacular and it is a good show. And it's a good show. It's not and other people said I like it because it has a black character. Well, that's not the reason why I like it. It's like I'm not one of those people that says as soon as there's a black character in it, suddenly I have to like the show. No, it's actually really good. I have yet to find a Ninja Turtles adaptation that I actually don't like.
Are you talking about the Rise of the TMNT, the latest show, right? Yeah, I haven't even given that a go personally. And it's only because I really liked the previous one to that, the Nickelodeon one, the 3D. It was really well done, and I really enjoyed it. So when they ended that and then replaced it with this, I was like, okay, well, I'm out. I'm not going to get in on another TMNT series. If you're saying it's good, maybe I'll give it a shot. I don't know.
That's the one thing about Ninja Turtles cartoons, except for that one 3D movie that came out that never actually got like anything explained about it. That like truly explained about it. That like most of them always like start and then finish and then that's it. Are set in a point where it doesn't have to keep going.
Yeah. Because
you don't want these things to keep going because that's when they start recycling old plot lines. Like how many times did Technodrome come back?
Right.
In the original, or like the constant new evil Krang that came out in like the 3D animated one. It's like, okay, how many times is Krang gonna not die? Seriously. It's like it's the thing. It's just how it goes. It's because it's the one of those things that's good. It's like it's gonna make money. It's Ninja Turtles. It's almost timeless in a way, as long as you make them more modern and don't try to go too far with the modernness of it. I know that's not a word, but if it is,
No, I got
I don't
you.
know. Yeah, but
That
you
makes
get the
sense.
gist.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And I appreciate it as well, Adrian, for your patronage and for your comment on last week's episode. Hopefully you got some fun stuff out of this week's, especially with Zack Snyder's tease. But let's go into the award show that around these parts overshadows these Oscars. I don't know where they got that name from, but we've got this year's 2023 BROSCAR Awards. So these were, in case you missed it, or if this is your first episode of the show, these are your categories as nominated and as selected by your hosts here every week, and then some tiebreaker winners because the hosts tied in on their votes, so then we put it up on Twitter. So we're going to start off with your nominees for Best Cinematography for this year's 2023 BROSCARs. James Friend, All Quiet on the Western Front. Ben Davis for Banshees of Inisherin. Jaron Blaschke for The Northman. Frank Pasingham for Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. And Claudio Miranda for Top Gun Maverick. And your winner for Best Cinematography is Ben Davis for Banshees of Inisherin.
You do like me.
I don't.
You liked me yesterday.
Oh, did I? Yeah.
I thought you did.
Congratulations to the brilliant Ben Davis for his outstanding cinematography. Your artistic vision and skillful execution created a visual experience that truly brought the film to life. Thank you for your incredible work and dedication to your craft.
And here are the nominees for Best Supporting, Male and Female Combined. Brendan Gleeson for Banshees of Inisherin. Carrie Condon for Banshees of Inisherin. Angela Bassett for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. David Bradley in Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. And Judd Hirst in The Fabelmans. And your winner for Best Supporting Actor or Actress is... Angela Bassett, Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
I'm the most powerful nation in the world, and my entire family is gone! Have I not given everything?
Congratulations to the magnificent Angela Bassett for delivering a phenomenal supporting performance. Your grace and elegance and sheer talent were on full display, bringing so much depth and richness to the film. Thank you for being a true inspiration to us all.
Your next category is Best Lead Actor, Male and Female Combined. This was the Broquette Tiebreaker vote. It's chosen by you. Your nominees are Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Alexander Skarsgård for The Northman, Cate Blanchett for Tar, Ben Affleck for Deep Water, Colin Farrell, Banshees of Inisherin. And as chosen by you, the Broquette Core Tiebreaker vote, your winner is... Brendan Fraser for The Whale.
Do you ever get the feeling that people are incapable of not caring?
Congratulations to the incredible Brendan Fraser for his breathtaking lead performance. Your portrayal of Charlie was so moving and heartfelt, and it left a lasting impact on everyone who watched. Thank you for bringing such depth and authenticity to the role.
And now for Best Director. This is another Broquette Tiebreaker vote. So the nominees are Martin McDonagh for Banshees of Inisherin, Todd Field in Tar, Robert Eggers in The Northman, Joseph Kosinski with Top Gun Maverick, Guillermo del Toro and Mark Gustafson with Pinocchio. And with the tiebreaker vote breaking it into Joseph Kosinski for Top Gun Maverick.
Setting time to target, 2 minutes, 15 seconds.
2:15, that's impossible.
File attack point. Maverick's inbound.
Congratulations to Joseph Kosinski for creating an exceptional film that truly captured our hearts. Your vision and creativity brought this epic story to life in such a captivating way. Thank you for giving us a masterpiece of cinema.
And your final category and nominee is Best Picture. For the BROSCARS this year, your nominees are Top Gun Maverick, Banshees of Inisherin, The Northman, Dragon Ball Super Superhero, and The Fabelmans. And your winner for Best Picture is Top Gun Maverick.
And if I don't send him, he'll never forgive me. Either way, I could lose him forever.
Congratulations to the cast and crew of Top Gun Maverick for making the best picture of this year's BROSCARS. The action, drama, and nostalgia were all perfectly balanced, making it a thrilling ride from start to finish. So a massive congratulations to all of our not just winners, but also our nominees for being nominated for this year's BROSCARS. A huge thank you to the hosts for voting in, chiming in, building this nomination list, and to the Brocat Corps for being instrumental in the tiebreaker votes. You have chosen the winners for this prestigious award show known as, every year, the BROSCARS. Boom, no slap, no nothing, Julian. Another incident-free BROSCAR award show. Can you say that about the other one?
Incident-free.
Don't get canceled. I'll edit it out.
I'm a little disappointed about the Totoro Pinocchio stuff, but I enjoyed that movie, but it's fine. Everyone here deserves it.
They got nominated though. That's already they should put that on the box. On Netflix now, they should put BROSCAR nominated on the screen.
BROSCAR nominated on the box, and if they don't, I'll get some tape.
We've got stickers.
You got stickers. It's like the Oprah sticker. BROSCARs approved.
I hope you all enjoyed it this year and looking to do it again next year. I'm looking forward to the rest of this year and the films that come out. Rebel Moon comes out this year. Hopefully that gets BROSCAR nominated for next year's show. But let's head into the final portion of this week's episode. It is the Brocat Block, what Julian and I have been up to. So let's start off with you, Julian. What have you been watching, playing, reading? What's been making you broke this week?
Well, what's been making me broke this week has been me re-upping most of my subscriptions to every single video game platform I own, because they all decided to go out at the same time.
Of course.
I have my Nintendo one backup, my PSN's backup. I've been debating with Jacques if he's going to actually do anything with me to let me get my Microsoft Game Pass backup, because I told him I'm not going to pay for this and we're not going to play anything with each other.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
I have been getting up earlier lately to try and get some workouts in before work, and because my job involves me having to move boxes a bunch, and it's every time, and just stretching before work, it does not do it anymore. So I need to be a little bit more fit, and then maybe I can actually get some of these boxes without coming and not come home every day tired as if I had done a whole day's workout.
That's good, man, because it will make I've noticed when I pick up Leo, when I grab groceries, things are a little bit easier since I've started working out, getting more protein in. That's been a big thing for me, because I was not keeping that up at all when I first started working out in my first year. And then recently it's holy shit, I should be intaking a lot more, because I was still in the mindset of I'm not working out, therefore I don't really need that much most people don't. Unless you're lifting weight training and all of that, you don't need that much protein. That's a misconception that people are always you need your protein. It's unless you're working out, you'll be fine. You're going to burn it off anyway. It doesn't matter. You're not building anything from the protein. But for me, I was on that mindset, and I'm shit, I need 140 grams of protein a day, and I'm not even close to hitting it. One muscle milk's only 20 to 25. So it's shit, man. I really need a lot. My protein shakes, when I use the pea protein, that's 40 grams. So I still need a shit ton, 100 throughout the day.
I'm sorry, my brain heard when I used to pee protein. It's like, wait,
I
so
know.
half of what you drank, you just pissed out.
It sounded weird for me too. Yeah.
But it's like, I know what protein you're talking about, but it's just my brain goes to these places. This is why I'm not normal.
Yeah. You're like, what about cum protein?
No, not that. God damn it. Why does everybody keep saying that that's something? There is, someone has done the research. Some weirdo out there. And of course I looked it up. Of course I looked up the research someone's done. There is none, zero benefits to it.
Oh shit. I didn't know that.
It's practically, literally, it's wasted protein technically, because it just stores and sits in you. And then until you need it.
Oh, now we know.
So, it's just technically people who consume a lot of protein, it doesn't actually make them stronger.
Correct.
Apparently, it's like other things that actually make them more virile and fertile or whatever the hell it's called.
But you need
anyway.
the body needs the protein to rebuild the muscles that you're tearing.
Yes. I have recently been discarding lots of bread out of my diets, lots of bread items out of my diet. It's been very difficult. Some days I just kind of say, screw it. I say, screw it. I need to have something. And I am a normal working class person in this world. And at some point in my life, bread is a part of that. I just don't need to eat it with everything.
Right.
3 days out of the week, it's like, okay, fine. I can have this bread this day, but then every other day, it's like no bread, no rice, no carb, like very little carbs. It's been very difficult because I don't want to end up like people who do keto and just kind of like starve themselves to death and their body starts eating away at itself because some people can't do keto because it's not healthy for them. I'm one of those people because I used to be really skinny, and like, it's not the fact that I'm big because like I'm like big boned or anything. No. I'm fat because I'm lazy.
Lazy gaming guys. It goes right into the name.
Yeah, exactly. But pretty much I just want to be able to lift shit at work without like having to be winded before the day's over. It's like, sometimes I can't be helped because I have a lot of shit I need to move around, but I don't want to be winded by lunch.
No, that makes sense. And if you keep it, I think if you keep it up, you'll see the progress. Like, oh shit, I'm like getting ass tired. I know I have when I started running and doing more cardio, like it would, even though I'm technically expending more energy, like over time, after a while, I started building up that tolerance. And then all of a sudden I could run a mile, 2 miles, and then not be completely exhausted by the end of the day, like I would be when I first started working out. So I think that especially when you're starting out, you'll notice, or at least I did notice, some major growth until I plateaued. And then it's like, okay, now I have to work hard, like even harder to start breaking some boundaries on my weight limits. So I think that you'll see that like it's faster than you think at first, the progression.
Let's just hope that I can keep up with this. It's been 2 months. It's technically been 2 months now that I've been doing this. This is the longest I've actually kept up with any kind of workout regimen, period. Getting up and actually doing this stuff to the point where it's hard for me to stay up past 10 p.m. sometimes. Days where I have to do lazy gaming, guys, I tell myself, that's the day I'm not doing anything. Lazy, be lazy. Who cares? Unless I have to go to work that day, be lazy. just sit around, fucking do nothing, be a bum, take that as your day off from doing anything. And then tomorrow morning it's get up, run like literally jog around the entire Walmart parking lot and then come back home.
Yeah, I think it takes like 3 weeks or something, they say, to build a habit, to change those brain pathways to like, okay, now where it becomes a thing that you need to do. So yeah, you're at the 2 month period. I think that's a pretty good thing. I know for me, it's become this thing. Like, I don't know. I don't feel anymore of like, oh, I don't feel like going to the gym. Like, it's just like, oh, this is the next thing I do now. So it's not, I don't even like my mind doesn't even give me that time to, oh, but you're tired, man. Or, oh, but you walked around a lot. None of that. It's just like, oh, now it's time to go to the gym and just go. It's just a part of, it's almost like driving a car. Like, now I need to get in my car, drive, and go home. It's like that kind of mentality at this point.
I'm trying to also make my grand re-entrance back into Florida again.
Yes.
I'm trying to make my visit again this
You've been
year.
promising for years.
Finances are finally starting to look better, so I might be able to actually do it. And then I already know I'm not coming alone. It's just I'm gonna be bringing my roommate with me because I told him you will come with me we're gonna go out of town and it's gonna be outside of Texas. It's gonna be great. And once I start getting those savings down, and we're gonna do it. That's why I paid for all my video game subscriptions and paid for the year on all of them. It's because I said nope. We're gonna get. It's like nope. I have the money right now. We're gonna pay these years off, and then I don't have to worry about it till next March.
Yeah, that's good, man. I hope we get to see you this year. It'd be good to spend some time with you, go to the parks, or do whatever.
I gotta rebuild for the parks. That's the Iron.
Yeah.
That's the Iron Man being there, because I already told myself if I go there again, I'm gonna be there from dawn till dawn, past dusk. Everybody who wants to quit now, leave. I will be here, and unfortunately, that means Scott will be here too because he doesn't get a choice. It's like, what do you do? Leave me by myself? Who's gonna take you home? Nobody.
Scott, Bobby, and I are all going to go to Epcot again next month, so we'll be sure to post up pictures, send some to you, and let you know what you're missing again.
It's fine. It's fine. I will live because I will be there. I will be there eventually. I guess I couldn't make it for the 50th anniversary stuff, but it was either do that and be 100% broke. 100% broke, come home with no money and no house to live in, or stay here and just live vicariously through vloggers.
No, I understand, man. I get it. I know my finances weren't the strongest when I was at my previous job or the one before that, just because, it's the least amount I'd gotten paid in the last, 5-10 years or whatever. So I had to be really careful about my spending. And now that I'm at a job that's paying me what I used to earn as a manager at a comic shop, I'm like, okay, I'm slowly starting to rebuild because I was still like eating into my checking, my savings, but now I'm building those up again. So because of that, I didn't go, to Illinois to visit my friends this or last year. I didn't go to C2E2, which I would have loved to do. MegaCon this year, I'm like, I'm about to take 2 weeks off for when the baby shows up. So that's a paycheck gone. So that's another thing that I've just been real careful with my spending on it. But I totally relate, man. I get it.
Well, because I told myself, if I can't afford Disney, I did get an email. I did get an email today about MetroCon, and I was actually going to talk to Scott about that. It's like, well, if we could, I know that my finances weren't going to be 100% good for it, but if we could at least go one day, so I can feel the memory of being there again, of being in a convention again since 2019, I will be happy.
Well, that's great, man. I'm looking forward to you showing up. I've got a little Leo update. I don't know if I talked about how he was getting his ear tubes put in. I think Kelly and I might have discussed it last time she was on, but that day was today. So he went in while I was at work. Kelly took him in and he got his surgery where his ears, basically all he could hear was like he was underwater, was the hearing tests that were coming back. So he was constantly hearing muffled. And so these tubes were put in and they help drain out whatever's blocking. Normally you're able to drain out whatever's in your ears. So he wasn't able to do that. And now like it's almost been an instant improvement where he says he can hear a whole lot better. We've tested it out. He's got an appointment set up for another hearing test just to see if everything is going okay. But even Kelly noticed that when he fell asleep, he was breathing through his nose, which is something that because of his congestion, because of all the buildup, he'd normally be snoring. Like he'd have apnea, I think is what it's called. And now that he has the tubes in, it seems like it's working. Like he was able to breathe through his nose when he was asleep, which is huge. So we'll see what happens tonight. But I mean, so far it feels good to know that we did the right thing because obviously we were nervous about it. He has to go under. You get that irrational fear of like, oh, but what if they use too much and he doesn't wake, that kind of stuff as a parent. But on the other side of it now, it's like, okay, everything went well. Hopefully he sleeps better than he ever has moving forward. Not constantly waking up and coughing because of his snores. So let's see what happens. And I'm just happy that right now he's having a great time. He got a new dinosaur toy because he was brave and went through it. So he's been enjoying his Scorpius Rex and things. It's all good news.
I should go out and get a dinosaur toy. Wait, no, just talked about saving money. Stop talking.
They're cooler than ever now, man. They're cooler than when we were kids.
It's fine. I'll just stick with Terry. The giant stuffed animal, which I have to I have to shove into a closet every day I go to sleep.
I've got something you can shove right here.
My God.
I've got a giant stuffed animal right here.
Yeah. Thanks, Bobby. Jesus.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Julian, for being on and helping host not just the show, but also the BROSCARS this year. I always appreciate it. And I do want you to let them know where they can get more of Julian and Scott and the rest of the Lazy Gaming guys.
You can catch me, Scott, Jacques, who if you've been a pressed Broquette viewer, he's been here a couple times. And also anybody else who randomly shows up in our streams on at Lazy Gaming Guys on Twitter. Also, we have our actual show, Lazy Gaming Guys, on YouTube.com. We're trying to, right now, I am in the middle of a Breath of the Wild playthrough. I'm trying, quote unquote, to go from the beginning to at least a suitable point, or hopefully to the end before the game comes out. I might have to play some of it off stream.
Just like Pokemon, I think.
Here we go. Now, I don't think I'm going to make it, but who knows? At least I'm trying. And even if the game does come, and when the game comes out, first I'll play it for the stream on a special Friday night stream because it's Nintendo and they can't release anything on days where we stream. So I will play it. I'll play a little bit of it then, and then we'll see if I actually continue playing it on stream or not, if I actually enjoy my experience, because I like Breath of the Wild, but I also can't stand Breath of the Wild because it's fun, but the challenge is the challenge is not like difficult. It's just jumping through this hoop to deal with this problem. And I'm not a hoop jumper. I like to solve it my own way. If my way doesn't work, screw you. But either way, yeah, you can catch up on our shenanigans and ridiculousness. Don't bring your kids. Keep your kids away from our channel.
That's true. Especially when Bobby and I are in the chat.
Oh, Jesus. Lots of asking. It was like, where's the butt? Why haven't we seen the butt yet? We all need, butts. Also, we curse like sailors.
Absolutely. And there will be links to everywhere you can find Julian and Lazy Gaming Guys on the description of today's show. So just swipe on over to the description. You will find all of those links. And you will also find the link to thereasonsimbroke.com. When you go there and you click on merch, it'll take you to our TeePublic storefront. There you will find mugs, t-shirts, sweaters, stickers, notebooks, phone cases, all kinds of stuff on the storefront that have parody logos. There's Kingdom of Hearts, there's Xenomorphs, there's Star Trek, and all of that helps in supporting the show. And it also gets you cool gear. If you like the Brokehead Core logo, become an official member and get a shirt with that in various colors. But thank you once again for joining us this week. I've been Daniel, joined by Julian, and Brokehead Core. All will be well. So there is a TikToker that Palpichelli subscribes to. I think his name is Brittany Spears. Pretty popular member of the gay community. I want to run some of his crushes past you because I want to get your take on it. He's great. I like him. So there's Milo from Treasure Planet. Well, what's the deal there? Because I don't get it. Except for him saying he's like, oh, that guy's hung as hell, and I'm like, I don't understand that one. What about Milo? Is it Treasure Planet or is it Atlantis? I think it's Atlantis.
That's Atlantis.
Milo from Atlantis. What's the deal there?
Milo from Atlantis is, oh my god. Okay, one, I think someone's seen, because if he actually has seen any reading on the internet long as I have, he's seen the fancy animation someone has made of Milo being freaking plowed by most of the male crew, and then also and another one where he's being plowed by fucking Tarzan. The point where and it's like, okay, it's like whatever. It's like, go ahead, go ahead, like Milo. If you're from Atlantis, I'm personally more of a person who likes Dr. Sweet because he's him big, him cute, him doctor, him man.
Here's another one. What about Hercules? He fucking loves Hercules. No, better. Mr. Incredible. Yeah. He goes nuts over Mr. Incredible.
Okay, Hercules, gross. That's like no. That's like no. It's like that's himbo personified. No, we don't.
He loves him.
Objectify.
He likes that.
Also, Mr. Incredible, I can see it. Mr. Incredible's not like at first I'm like, Mr. Incredible would be my cup of tea, but the problem is he's like, I don't really feel it. I'm not feeling it, Mr. Incredible. I tried. I'm like, it's like I've looked at some fan arts of Mr. Incredible. It's like,
Not your cup of tea, huh?
No, it's not because someone said, "Oh, it's because he's fat." It's like, no. I played plenty of big belly dudes who I loved. He's just not one of them. Maybe I'm not in the blondes. Oh no, wait, no, that's a lie. I've been in the blonde dudes. Maybe it's just him. It's just him. I'm sorry.
Well, the last one that did come up on his little roller thing, that Disney people, and he also loved them. It's your favorite, King Triton. Like, I don't need your answer from that one because I know how much you love King Triton. So I just wanted you to know that you and Britney Spears at least agree on that one.
I'm going to kill you. I'm going to come to Florida with that stupid Triton pop you brought me. Throw it at you, and then pick it up and throw it back and throw it at Scott for contributing.
The question will be, live action Triton from the new Little Mermaid film or animation King Triton? We got to wait till the movie comes out, I think, because that little poster picture I sent you, I don't think that'll do him justice for you to properly analyze and enjoy that iteration of Triton.
I hate this joke so much. Oh my God. Oh my God. Please, no more. I can't take it anymore.